Welcome to Alex West Yoga. Today we've got a sequence for helping to release tensions and knots in the sort of lower back and pelvis and hip area that are associated with the pain that can occur in the lower back. And we're going to use a few tools today. One is a foam roller. They come in different types. You can have, if they've got knobbles on, or any type is going to work for this. You can get them quite easily and cheaply online. We're also going to need a chair, preferably one that you can stick your legs through the middle. It's not absolutely essential. And also a couple of big books. There we are, The Age of Surveillance Capitalism and Ray Dalio's Principles of Investing, I think. Anyway, two big heavy books. It is a quality of fascia, which is the sort of thin connective tissue that wraps around all of your muscles and bones and joints and ligaments. It's a quality of fascia that it releases under pressure. So when you apply a pressure, a steady, sustained pressure to a knot in a muscle or tissue, it encourages the fascia, the connective tissues, to release and relax. So those little knots and tensions that are pulling things out of shape and causing irritation of nerves and pain in the body, that can be released by putting sustained pressure on the knots of muscle that are associated with the pain in the first place. So we're going to start doing a little bit of that release. So grab your foam roller and sit upon your foam roller. And notice you have got your hands behind you. And you just start by using that foam roller just to massage a little bit up and down, just on the sacrum, just up and down the back, just to start the process of just releasing and aligning. Push those books out of the way. And then sit on top of this mat again. And now what we want to do is to just rock to the side. So we're sort of on 45 degrees, just against the buttock area here. If you know the points, there's a shiatsu point in the side of the buttock, gallbladder 30, just right in between the hip and the tailbone, sort of 45 degrees, and that's where we're aiming at. We want to really just on the side of the buttock and top of the hip area here. And what we're doing now is we're rolling, looking for the place that feels painful, because it is a quality of these knots is that they're sort of muscle fibers and fascia, but also nerves all bunched up. And so when you press on them, you also press on nerves, and that can cause a little bit of pain, but that is the indication that you're in the right place. So when you find somewhere that's a bit painful, you hold it there and sustain the pressure on the painful bit. Breathe deeply, allow that pain to spread through your body, because that pain is an indication you're pressing in the right place, and by pressing in the right place, it helps to release the circulation around a little bit. So to start with, you just sort of shake it around. You find the painful bit, you sort of shake it around a little bit, and then hold. Now you can cross one ankle over, and that just helps to expose this area. There, I just found a bit there. There we are. There we hold it there. Hold it on the bit that's a bit painful. Hold it. Breathe deeply. You need to hold it still for at least 20 seconds. 20, ideally 30 seconds. When you first do this, it might be quite substantially painful, like somebody sticking a white hot poker inside you. But just bear with it, because it's a very effective way of helping to release muscle tensions. You should, of course, always consult your physician or doctor before undertaking any online exercise or remedial program. That goes without saying. So if you haven't done that already, switch off and go and see them or call them, whatever. But assuming that you're able to continue, then just have a little explore around. Change the angle slightly. Come at it from a slightly different angle. Change your body position a little bit. See if you can find another knotty bit or lumpy bit in the buttock area, the lower back, top of the hip. Just knead it a little bit with that roller, like you're just rolling out pastry or something. That's it. And then same thing, but on the other side. So just roll onto the other side and just start just rolling up and down in a general way, and then just sort of maybe cross the ankle over again, which exposes it, and then roll around, and you're looking for that little bit where there's a sudden where it feels a bit painful, because that's where the knot is. And if you can release those knots, it's going to help. Because what those knots do is, it's like you have a nicely aligned system. Your spinal column comes down and it goes into the tailbone, which sits inside your pelvis, with the iliac bones either side of that, and then your thigh bones connect to the pelvis via the ball and socket joint to the hip. And it's all beautiful design, nicely aligned, but if one side has got a knot in it, it just pulls everything else out of alignment. And then when things are pulled out of alignment, then it can cause pressure on nerves, and that can cause pain. So what we want to do is to release the knots that are putting everything out of alignment in the first place, so that we're addressing the underlying causes of what might be causing the pain. Just roll up and down, looking. I can find there. When you find a bit that's a bit painful, remember to hold the pressure in a sustained way. Count to 20, 30. This is Muleki. This is Muleki the cat. He's my great inspiration, because he doesn't appear to have any knots in his muscles. He seems to be completely free and fluid, and there's probably a page to be taken out of his book in that he spends about 18 hours a day relaxing. So there's probably something in that. You spend 18 or 19 hours a day relaxing, your body's probably going to feel a lot freer than if you're not. Okay, so let's release that, and then just come back to that rolling up and down. And I want to have a look at the back of the thighs. So just get that ball forward, and then this bit here, the hamstrings, just rest the hamstrings and lift the buttocks off the floor. So you've got your weight, and just roll up and down the back of the legs. Now that's not very strong pressure, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my hips up and take one leg off and just roll up and down on the back of one thigh. That brings more weight to bear, so it's more effective, and I can feel that's much more powerful pressure, much better. And there I can feel it's a little bit painful, so I'm going to stay there. Look, it's a little bit of a workout for your arms as well. If you lift up, your arms are having to work to keep your body off the floor, and that's no bad thing, because when you bear weight in your arms, it sends the circulation deeper into your bones, and when the circulation goes into your bones, your bone marrow gets nourished, and your bone marrow is where your blood is produced. Red blood cells for the supply of oxygen to your body tissues, and also white blood cells, which are an integral part of your immune system. And keeping the immune system keeping the immune system strong is a vital thing to do under any circumstances. Let's just roll up and down there a little bit more. Maybe the arms are getting a bit tired from supporting the weight a little bit, so you can relax down as you change over. Take the other thigh on there, and then lift the hips up off the floor, so your body weight is pressing down. The only part of your body that's in contact with the floor is your hands and the back of your thigh on top of the roller. You can rest the foot on the ankle, or even on there if it doesn't cross over, but bring the weight to bear, and then roll up and down through the length of that hamstring, the biceps femoris, that muscle at the back of your thigh. Just roll up and down there, looking for any area that feels tender. You might find, to begin with, that it's already quite tender, so you can even just have the body on the floor and just bring a little bit less weight, depending on how tender it is. Obviously, you need to be able to bear the pain, but it is just an unfortunate situation that the remedy is painful. You know you're in the right place when it's painful, because the pain is as a result of the pressure being put on the knot of nerves. I found a little bit that's there. I'm going to lift the hips up, bring the weight to bear, just hold it there. I'm going to push into the heel to lengthen through the back of the thigh slightly, and hold it there, and then just move, change the angle slightly. If you change the angle, look at my foot, changing the angle, there, you see now it's much more intense, and I want that intensity, because that intensity, that bit of pain I can feel, is an indication that the pressure is on the right place, and that means the knot is going to dissolve and release a little bit, which means my whole body is going to be in a little bit more harmony. It's going to be less pain, more agility, freedom, flexibility. Next, and then I'm just going to roll up and down there a couple more times. Okay, so that's a little look in. So this is a little introduction to this. You can spend longer on each part of the body. And have a look at the calf muscle now. The calf muscle doesn't need quite so much weight, it's a smaller muscle. So I'm just going to roll up and down, changing the angle, inside of the calf muscle, outside of the calf muscle. So what's this got to do with the lower back? There's a line of fascia, connective tissues, that runs all the way down the back of the leg, all the way up through the sacrum and up either side of the spine. So knots down here and inequalities and tensions down the back of the leg are going to affect the lower back. So we want to even out the tensions through the back of the leg a little bit so that there's not distortions in the pull on the lower back. So we're just rolling up and down on the back of that thigh. That one seems, there's a little bit of a knot. I need a bit more pressure, so I'm going to lift the hips up and even put my foot on there. Again, it's a bit of a workout for the arms, no bad thing. Hold it there. Move a little bit, change the angle there. There I can feel a little knot. I can feel a little gristly lump in the calf muscle. So I'm going to hold there, release it. Maybe point the toes and flex the foot a little bit. Release that a bit more. Excellent. And then changing side. Same thing, other side. Now see there, I can feel on the other. I can feel there. That feels a little more gristly, a little bit more lumpy. And I'll hold the pressure there. Hold the pressure. Hold the pressure. Maybe a bit more weight. That's it. Deep breaths. And then, oh, there's another one. So that's how you do it. You search around. You find the bit that feels lumpy and feels painful to put the pressure on, and then you hold the pressure in a sustained way on that area. Arms are getting quite tired from supporting my weight. And then just roll up and down. So that's a little bit of release there. Okay, so we're going to do one more area, which is just the side of the hip. So sideways on, just rest down on your elbow. Lift your hips up and rest your hips on top of this ball. And then just roll up and down on the side. And you look for the area that feels painful. I can feel a little bit painful there. So you can see where the pressure is. It's pretty much just below the waistband of the trousers. On and just below the waistband of your trousers or skirt, whatever you're wearing. And then roll forward a little bit, angling your body down. So you're coming more onto the hip flexor, which is just at the front of the top of your thigh, where your thigh joins your hip. And you just want to roll just up and down on there a couple of times. Looking for the area that feels a bit tight. You can even just roll back the other way to bring the pressure to the back. So this is all these muscles that are around the ball and socket joint of the hip. You want to just release those a little. That's it. So if we're going to do one side, we should also do the other side. So just change over. So what we do, here's the roller, either side, on the elbows, so it's quite easy to maintain the pressure. And then get that underneath you. And then rolling up and down, just about the level of the waistband. You can do this when you're watching telly. You don't need to have like full zen focus on what you're doing. You could watch telly, listen to the radio, whatever, because it's good to spend time doing this. I'm zipping through quite quickly for the sake of expediency, but that's it, changing the angle. But when you do this, you know, when you find those knots, if you can hold and sustain the pressure, they will release. Trust me, they will. And changing the angle a little bit, so I'm sort of searching around. I'm scanning through all the sort of various places and all the muscles associated with this lower back area. Forward and back. Found a little achy bit there, so staying there for a little. Okay. And then I'm going to just release that and finish with again what we started with, which was just a little massage up and down the lower back. So sitting on top of this ball, hands behind, bringing the weight to bear, and then just rolling back and forwards. I can bring a knee into the chest, and even the other one as well. And you'll need a little bit of core strength for the next bit, but that's just, if you can, take your arms off the floor, hold you will feel that on the abdomen, then just roll a little bit higher up the back as well. So you're going up and down those big erector spinny muscles. Those are the muscles either side of your spinal column that keep your body upright. And because they're working all the time, they are subject to tensions there. If you hold your hands behind your head, that'll stop your neck getting tired. And then just roll up and down. Roll up and down. And again, if you feel like, I can feel just between my shoulder blades there's a little bit of a sort of lumpy, gristly bit. So I'm going to stay there and just rest. That's it. And then just stay in the area where you feel any pain or gristly bits for a few seconds. Hold it. And then move around and look for another one. And that is a little bit of myofascial release, which is a good preparation for what's coming next. So now what we want to do is to stretch through the back of the legs. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a couple of books to demonstrate this. But what I recommend you do is you find a step that's got a banister or something you can hold on to either side. What we want is a stretch down through the back of both calf muscles at the same time. My head will disappear from shot here, I think, but the main bit that you need to focus on is the foot. So this, imagine this is a step, and you've got something to hold on to, ideally both sides, and you bring your feet on the step. You come back so you've just got half of your foot on the step. So your step is better because it stays still. And then what you do is you just let both heels drop down towards the floor so you get an even stretch through the back of your legs. So any staircase in the house is about perfect for this. You just hold the walls or the banister and let your heels drop down towards the floor. Press your knees back, lock your knees and let your heels press towards the floor so you get an even stretch through the back of both legs at the same time. And hold it there. Hold it there for a good minute. Count to 60 or to 100. And then release that. And then we're just going to do another little stretch to the back of the legs. So just come onto the hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and gently press your heels to the floor, towards the floor. They might not reach there, that doesn't matter. We're just looking for a even stretch through the back of both legs at the same time. It doesn't need to be a strong stretch, it's just an even soft stretch through the back of both legs. Hold it there. If you have any blood pressure problems, high blood pressure for example, or glaucoma, lift your head up here so that there isn't quite so much pressure going down to your head or to the eyes. You want to hold it for about a minute and then lower the knees down. Now that is the hard work over and done with. What follows is a relaxation sequence using a chair. So get the chair, place it on the floor. You will also need either a chair that is like this, that has a hole that you can put your legs through. If you don't have that, it's not a problem, but you will need a couple of books or a brick or a solid compact cushion perhaps to help with some of the alignment that comes with this. The first part of this exercise is a release of the lower back area. You put your legs up on the chair and you lie down on your back. You might want a cushion or a book under the head. And then you just relax your arms out to the side with your palms facing up. Tuck your tailbone under because you want is that little flattening through the lower back area. Tuck your chin in so you're lengthening through the back of the neck. And when you do this, this is something that you want to do for a minimum of 5 minutes, ideally 10 minutes. Just let that release there, but 5 minutes is good. I'm not going to do this for 5 minutes because I just want to get the principle of what we're doing over to you. So the next thing, having let's say we relax here, you can help with the relaxation just by scanning through your body. Scanning is an important skill in yoga and in any therapy really. It's just taking your attention through your body bit by bit and also encouraging the body to relax in all of those different areas. So you can start at the top of your head and work down, relaxing all the muscles around your scalp and your face, little muscles around your eyes, your jaw,
Let your neck relax, shoulders, arms, chest, diaphragm, that big muscular sheet between your chest and your abdomen. Relaxing the middle of your back and the lower back as well. Relaxing the pelvis and the hips. Relax the thighs, the lower abdomen, the knees, ankles and feet. And you just let gravity do the work. You just lie there. Gravity will do the work. It'll pull your bones towards the floor and help your body just release all those little tensions and stresses. So having relaxed in this position, the next stage is to do a one-legged relaxation like this. So what you'll need to do is either move that chair to the side a little, so one leg stays in the same position, the other leg can stretch out. Now, if this leg is stretching out, there's one small detail I want you to be aware of, and this is the angle of the foot. The foot must be vertically up, not out to the side. So the foot must be vertical, not out to the side. So to keep it vertical, you can put a couple of books either side of the foot to stop it dropping out to the side. Or you can have that leg through and then the legs of the chair work as the little thing that stop it rolling out to the side. And then you lie down and relax in that position. So what's happening here is there's a deep muscle that connects the inside of your backbone, the lumbar spine. On the inside of your lumbar spine there's a big bone that goes down. A big bone, I mean muscle. There's a big bone that goes down there's a big muscle that goes down either side of your spinal column and connects to the top of your thighs. It's called the psoas muscle. In Chinese medicine it's called the soil of the soul, this muscle. I don't know why, but I think the implication is that it is a very significant muscle, and it is, because it's connecting your spinal column to the top of your thighs. And if there's any imbalances, it's very much like the tracking in the car. If one side is tight and the other side is loose, then it's going to pull the system out of kilter. So what we want to do is to have both sides equal. And this straight leg that's on the floor is gently extending the psoas muscle. And this leg here that's up is completely released it. And then we're going to obviously do this on the other side as well. And this just helps to release and equalize the tensions in the body. And again, once you're here, it's simplicity itself. You lie down, you relax, leave it for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, even 10 minutes, but a substantial amount of time. Maybe you're listening to some music, you can play an album you like and listen to, 3 tracks, usually about 2 minutes each, aren't they? Hold it there. Then when that's done, exactly the same thing on the other side. You may need to shuffle around a little bit to change it up. The principle is you want to change it with as little disturbance as possible. So, other leg up. So here, for example, there's a wall, so I could just shift across close to the wall, and the wall could stop that foot falling down to the side. Or I can take that foot on the inside of the chair, and the chair legs stop the fall going down the side. Or as before, you could use the books, because you don't want that foot falling out. You want the toes vertical up to the ceiling, so that there is the correct alignment. And then once more, same story. Relax in the back. You can scan through the body, relax all the muscles, listen to some music. Don't let the head roll to the side, so no watching telly. I mean, you can have the telly on, but you do want the head lined up, this thigh vertical, that foot vertical, and the body just relaxed in alignment there. Again, another 5 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, whatever. Gives that side a chance to release. And then, having done that, come back to the original position with both legs up. And this again just lets the lower back release. And then we stay here for another, 3-4 minutes. letting everything relax there. And having relaxed there for a little while, then come away from, take the chair out of the way, or roll to the side, and then place the soles of your feet together and just release the inside of the hips by letting the knees relax out to the side. Not for too long here, a couple of minutes here is fine. And then bring the knees together, hug the knees to the chest, and then just loosen up, roll the knees around in circles a couple of times, one way, then the other, and then roll to one side, and then just come into this position, the cat position, on the hands and knees, and loosen the spine up and down, round in a few circles one way, and then round in a few circles the other way. And then there is where we finish this little adventure through yogic techniques. It's not yoga per se, but it's certainly yogic techniques for helping release all the energetic and physical anatomy that's associated with the lower back. So I hope you've enjoyed the session. Any questions? Do contact me, alexwestyoga@gmail.com. That's alexwestyoga@gmail.com. I'm always happy to hear from you, and I offer a service where I do free consultations. So if you've got any ailment that might be helped by yoga or meditation or qigong or any sort of energetic healing practice, then I'm always happy to see if there's something that can be done to help. alexwestyoga@gmail.com, and that's where I'll leave you for the moment. Thank you.